Today we are taking a look at the Sakai, Kikuzuki, Kurouchi, Gyuto in 270 millimeters. So these guys all actually run a little bit short, so this guy measured in at 254 millimeters for the blade length and 414 millimeters overall. It's going to be made out of a core steel of shirigami or white number 2 carbon steel, heat treated to a Rockwell hardness of 60 to 61 with an iron cladding. So this whole knife's going to be reactive, so you have to keep it wiped down, dry, and clean at all times, and especially during storage. Speaking of that cladding, I will show you guys the Kurouchi finish on this guy a little bit better. Really nice rustic finish on these guys. Really cool kanji on them. And really nice polish on the bevels on these guys. Really nice contrast between like the really refined bevel and like the rustic kind of Kurouchi left on these guys. Super cool. So, on to some more specs. This guy's going to be 54 millimeters from the heel up to the spine. Speaking of that spine, we're looking at 3.2 millimeters, about an inch out of the handle, and it's going to hold most of that weight all the way through. While we're up here, we'll take a look at the handles. These guys have an octagonal magnolia handle, so suitable for left and right-handed users with a buffalo horn ferrule. Not the cleanest fit that we've seen between the ferrule and the handle, but there's not going to be any openings or any spaces for anything to get in there, and it's not super noticeable when you're choked up on the knife and using it, but just something to be noted. Show you guys the profile of the handle there, so it's a pretty standard octagonal shape on this guy, a little bit chunkier than some of the other ones we've done today. And as you guys can see, very nicely fitted into the handle. The hole was not excessively large, and then it was sealed up really nice, so no moisture or anything's going to get in there, cause any problems over time. Balance point on this guy is going to be about 2.5 to 3 inches out of the handle. Of course, you can expect it to be a little bit blade heavy, being a 270 millimeter Gyuto. Speaking of the weight, overall this guy's going to be 222 grams. So not a light knife. That being said, it's going to hold a lot of the weight in that spine because it gets very thin behind the edge. So this guy you don't have to be scared to crush a clove of garlic with, but it's still going to perform super well on harder ingredients, and these guys just melt through carrots. Speaking of the performance on these guys, the last thing I'm going to show you guys is the choil, and these definitely fall into laser category. These guys get super thin behind the edge, and they perform super well. They are going to be a little bit more on the delicate side, but they do have a slightly more forgiving heat treat on them. So like I said, super thin. You can see these guys flexing on my nail behind the edge, so really good work from these guys. So one more time, there you guys have it. This has been the Sakai Kikuzuki Kurouchi Gyuto in 270 millimeters. Cheers.